Hi guys, it's Brittany, and today we are going to be talking about, is it okay to feel upset or sad or devastated over really trivial things? Trivial things, if you don't know what that means, are things in life that ultimately really do not matter. Like, someone can go to the grocery store and they might not have their favorite food, and that person, for whatever reason, could be completely devastated. And you think, why would somebody be devastated over that? Like, it doesn't matter. Well, emotions and stuff affect everybody differently, and sometimes the trivial things are the things that can really hurt us the most. Um, and there's actually a reason for this, and not to get all like scientific and like specific with you guys, but it's called the region beta paradox, and it's basically in in the simplest form, like in the simplest way to put it to you is like sometimes people can recover more quickly from less intense emotions or pain versus like really intense situations. And you know, and it's because, like intense states trigger like psychological defense processes, which are like our coping mechanisms and all this kind of stuff that reduce like the distress. And and then the less intense states, because they're not as intense in our mind, they don't release the same, like our brains don't react the same way to it. So those coping mechanisms and the things that are there to protect us aren't always triggered unless, in like the trivial situations. So sometimes we feel even more sad about it when it's something that ultimately does not matter. And to feel upset and sad over trivial things is so completely normal. To give you an example, like a really silly example, and you guys can laugh, and but I'm sure like you've all been there, like in this. Um, I sent somebody a Facebook friend request, and they haven't accepted it. And I gave it a few days before I really like put much thought into it. And sending it, I knew that it was a good possibility that they wouldn't be able to accept it due to it being like a professional relationship. Just like as if you guys were to send a friend request to a teacher, like if you're in high school and you send a friend request to a teacher, a lot of times they're not going to accept it. But it doesn't mean that we can't feel sad about it. A lot of I know it seems so silly, but I'm actually quite upset by it. And in the grand scheme of life, it's not that big of a deal. It's a Facebook friend request. It's this friendship where basically you can just see what's going on in somebody else's life. And even though it's trivial, like part of me feels hurt. Part of me feels like I did something wrong, or that I'm not worthy of being their friend, or that it makes me feel really shitty. And I can't help that. It's the whole thing, like it's this whole trivial thing where, because it's something so simple, my brain's not coping with this. So I'm just kind of sitting here in limbo trying to figure out like how to go about this. So if you guys are going through that, obsessing over trivial things that don't matter, like I get you. I hear you. And like I said, there's a scientific reason behind it. Like I said, it's the region beta paradox. Put I will put that somewhere in this video if I already haven't, so you guys can look it up or look into it more if you're interested. But yeah, it's really silly how our minds work and how something so stupid can hurt so badly. And and a lot of these times when it's something so simple, like we don't even feel like we can bring it up to the person. Like I could never tell her like, "Hey, I'm really hurt by the fact that you didn't accept my friend request." Like they'd look at me and be like, "Really? Like, Brittany, really? Is this? You have much bigger things to be worrying about than a Facebook friend request." But, like I said, sometimes the little things are the ones that hurt the most and that hurt the longest. And even though probably never going to happen. I'm always going to be hurt by it. And again, like I said, that's okay to be upset by these things. As for coping with these, aside of what our bodies are supposed to be naturally doing, you just have to remind yourself that this is something you don't have control of, and because whatever your situation is, because of that situation, like, if you can't control it, why worry about it? It's just not worth it. And I'm guilty of that. I have to remind myself of that every single day, several times a day. And I'm getting better, but I'm still learning. So yeah, this video was pretty short, pretty quick, but it was just something that's really been on my mind. What kind of trivial things do you guys worry about? Or, like, what kind of things hurt? Do you think, like, what do you think about the region beta paradox? Do you think that it's a possibility, that, the more intense, like, situations could hurt way less, or, like, not as long as just the little trivial things? Like, what do you guys think about that? I want to know your thoughts. Yeah, but thank you for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon, probably tomorrow, for another new video. Bye!